native tongue and asked for a bountiful fall hunting season for everyone. He promised to keep trying to live in a good way, despite the pull of negative influences around him. He finished his prayer with a resounding, solitary miigwech before putting the tobacco on the ground in front of the moose. This was his offering of gratitude to the Creator and Mother Earth for allowing him to take this life. As he took from the earth, he gave back. It was the Anishinaabe way, as he understood it. His head was clear. The adrenaline surge of the kill was brief, as was his remorse for taking a life. Evan had spent nearly his whole life hunting. His father had first taught him to identify and follow moose tracks in the deep bush around their reserve when he was 5. Now, nearly 20 years later, he was on his own, tracking his own kill to support his young family. When he was new to the hunt, the sympathy and sadness he felt after pulling the trigger lasted days. Now he was a father himself, and necessity overcame reluctance and regret. This is a big fella, he thought. He looked over the bull once more before turning back to where he'd park his four-wheeler deeper in the bush that morning. He would have to butcher the animal here. It was too big for him to heft onto his ATV's trailer by himself. On some hunts, he would leave his kill on the land overnight and return the next day with help. But he didn't have any tarps or blankets with him to cover up the moose and mask its scent from other predators. And the chill in the air told him that he should move quickly. A deep orange glow coated the northern landscape as the sun began to set, highlighting the deep evergreen of the pine and spruce trees that towered beyond the ridge. As he walked, the sky above became darker blue and the air was markedly cooler. Overhead, a small formation of geese broke the silence, complaining about their migration south for the season. I thought they were all gone. Had he expected this delayed flock, he would have had his shotgun with him to add to the day's bounty. But he already had a good stock of plucked and halved geese in a freezer at home. It didn't matter that much. He stepped up to the four-wheeler and straddled it, then turned the key in the ignition. The harsh rumbling of the machine racketed across the field, chasing the soothing offbeat cries of the geese. He hadn't expected to find a moose this close to where he'd first stopped just after dawn. He'd covered vast amounts of open terrain and thick bush throughout the day, and he was about to pack it in. But he found a decent spot overlooking the small meadow on the walk back to his vehicle and decided to stop and wait. It had paid off. The four-wheeler flattened the tall grass as Evan made his way back to the moose. He made a quick inventory of the meat they'd have for the winter. 3 moose, 10 geese, more than 30 fish, trout, pickerel, pike, and 4 rabbits for now. More rabbits would be snared through the winter. It was more than enough for his own family of 4, but he planned to give a lot of the meat away. It was the community way. He would share with his parents, his siblings and their families, and his in-laws, and would save some for others who might run out before winter's end and not be able to afford the expensive ground beef and chicken thighs that were trucked or flown in from the south. The thought of eating only packaged meat, if all that game ran out, made Evan shudder. Bad moose meat is always better than a good pork chop, his father always said. Evan ate southern meats when he had to, but he felt detached from that food. He'd learned to hunt when he was a boy out of tradition, but also necessity. It was harder than buying store-bought meat, but it was more economical and rewarding. Most importantly, hunting, fishing, and living on the land was Anishinaabe custom, and Evan was trying to live in harmony with the traditional ways. The four-wheeler rolled up to the dead moose.